murdered. Yeah, yeah. Coming up next on Mental Health Matters with Marty, living while being Black. Wow. Stay tuned. What's up, everybody? Hey, it's me. It's Martinez Sellers, your mental health hygienist, coming to you live and always in living color here in Southern California, where the sun is always shining, with the exception of yesterday. Y'all, we got a little bit of rain. Can you believe it? Yeah, we needed it, especially in this desert that I am in. But it's good to see you. Hope you are doing well. Welcome to this Tuesday edition of Mental Health Matters with Marty. And it is so good to be viewed and oh, that's not good, to be seen, watch it, and not viewed in the midst of everything that's going on. We're glad that you are here tonight. Let us know where you are listening from. And again, congratulations to my boy from Instagram who won our sweatshirt from last week during our sweatshirt draw. And please stay tuned, because we're going to be having a Black Friday sale. Yes. On our website with all of our mental health merch on Black Friday. We'll keep you posted on that, but hope you are doing well. You know what we say here on the Mental Health Matters with Marty show. Kick that slide for us, Daryl, right now. The Mental Health Matters with Marty show is a psychoeducational show, and we are not a substitute for your mental health and wellness, but we are a supplement to make sure that you are doing well. In other words, we want to be added to your treatment plan, and we don't want to be a replacement for you seeing your therapist, your life coach, or your psychiatrist. But if you're experiencing any type of mental health or psychiatric emergencies, please dial 911 or go to your nearest urgent care. With that being said, we are glad that you're tuning in. Listen, y'all, hope everyone is doing well. Let me know you're listening and that you're alive and well. But how do you get in touch with us, and how do you make that impact and stay connected? By logging on to Mental Health Matters with Marty on our Facebook page and on our YouTube page with Marcel Media Group. If you go to my personal page, I won't see it. I'm not trying to ignore you, so don't be blowing up my DMs about what you're ignoring me. I'm not trying to ignore you. That's just how it works on this new platform, which we're so grateful for, because we're trying to make it to the big time. Somebody pick me up. Somebody call Tyler Perry. Call Oprah. Call anybody. We are ready to go prime time with Mental Health Matters with Marty. Why? Because we got some stuff we need to talk about. That's why we're here. So let us know you're listening. Invite some friends. Put some folks in the DM and put some names in the section there, and let us know that you're listening and what's going on. Hello there. Okay. Fit. Come on, Miss Fit. You better be fit. That's what I'm talking about. Hello, darling. How are you? I feel like I'm on Portia Scott's show, but hope all is well. Listen, our topic today, living while being a Black man. I think I got a little bit of expertise on that. And just living these 55. Can you believe it? I turned 55 this month. And it's so good to be 55 because many didn't make it to be 55 years old. I don't feel 55. I mean, I guess 55 is a new, I would say 35, but I'm going to go with 45. 55 is the new 45. Hey, what's going on, Courtney? That's right, listening. I ain't mad. Thank you for listening. Glad that you're here. I want to say this, life has been amazing in a lot of ways, but we've had to navigate this thing of being Black in America, especially in 2019, 2020, 2021. Thank you so much. Thanks for the birthday wishes. And especially as we seen time and time again, Black men being gunned down, shot, police brutality, whatever that might be, systemic racism, that's just even been more blatant. And I was having this conversation with other people. Has it increased, or the fact, I agree with Will Smith when he says that the fact that we have social media and we have these cameras and phones, we are tracking it more these days. I don't know if it's ever decreased or increased, but the fact that we can track it more and it's more in our face. We always knew that we were struggling, and we always knew we had to play, in so many cases, the race card and put on the mask and all of that. That's just a part of our DNA. And how we have learned to survive in that. But if you're anything like me, have you ever been tired and fatigued? And tonight I'm just going to call it Black. I want to read you Black Fatigue. I want to read you a little excerpt. And the reason I'm doing that, because my guest here who's coming on, he has the best intros ever to his podcast. And I'm trying to grow up and be like my brother because he encourages me to do better things. So in honor of my brother tonight, I'm going to set this up for us to have a little discussion. Can we talk? Let's talk. It was hard pressed to name it. It's an underlying syndrome of sorts that permeate my very being. It operates like a dull, droning sound that is always present, but most of the time is drowned out by higher pitches of optimism and hope. I now know what it is. Black fatigue. Have you ever been tired before? And a lot of microaggressions and other circumstances that come to you simply because you're living while being a Black man. Wow. And too often we are misdiagnosed and over-medicated because those professionals, whether it's in the mental health field, whether it's in the teaching field. Hey, PJ, how are you? Whatever field it might be in, they don't understand who we are. And they don't understand the trauma and the hurts and the pain that we carry. And I'm at the point now where Dr. Radine Walker says it this way. We have normalized our pain to the point we no longer recognize our pain as a crisis. That's what it is, living while being a Black man here in America. Let's talk. Let's have the conversation. So without any further ado, I want to welcome back to the Mental Health Matters with Marty show, all the way from Nashville himself, my brother, none other than James Bush himself. What's going on, my brother?
What's going on, Marty? That opening music is slamming, though. I'm digging it, though. I'm definitely digging it, bro.
Listen, I'm trying to be like you, man. I appreciate you.
Man, I like the format, man. I like what you, man, y'all doing. Y'all doing great things, though. So, man,
listen,
appreciate you having me on.
Anytime, man. And real talk, I appreciate you because when you invited me on your show, you were so professional. You had stuff boom, 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 laid out in a professional format that you challenged me in a great way to say, let me step up what my game, what I'm doing, man. So I appreciate you being the format, laying it out for us. Who are in this game, and you've been doing this thing for a while. So for those who may not know you, talk to us and let us know who you are again, all the many great things you're doing, and then let's talk about this living while being a Black man.
Well, first and foremost, my name is James Bush. I'm a licensed professional counselor in the state of Tennessee, state of Nevada, New Jersey, Kentucky, and soon to be Wisconsin. I run the Mind of a Man podcast, where it's a podcasting platform for guys to just talk about things that guys talk about in barbershops, but not just hoes, sex, drugs, cars, and what they got. We're looking at, man, as far as legacy. We're talking about what's it like to be divorced, what happens after divorce. We're looking and talking about mental health, depression. What does depression for an athlete who has been training to be an athletic superstar since he was in 3rd grade? What does that look like for him? What does he do next? And just more moving to the point of what's next. What does life insurance for us look like? How do we transfer wealth through those means and mechanisms? So those are some of the things that I want to be able to go and move in that range and realm, because it's so needed. I kind of got the idea, I guess, from what was it, when I was growing up, Morgan Freeman and Samuel L. Jackson, they took roles that nobody else would take, and look where they are today. And so I want to talk about stuff that nobody else wants to talk about, and we'll see where we get with it.
Wow, so man, definitely. Love the format, love the rawness and realness of it, because it draws us right in, because you're talking about everyday practical things that we as Black men go through. So doing today's show, man, I appreciate you, because I called you at the last minute, be like, bro, I need someone, and you step right in. Man, I appreciate you so much with that. Listen, what do you think about this living while being a Black man? What does that mean for you, and how does that resonate for you?
On so many different levels, especially from a therapeutic standpoint, where I mean, there's just so much trauma that we have suffered and we've been through. And me and you have had this conversation before, Marty, where while we were going through, well, let's start back when we were going through the transatlantic slave trade. Well, first, but when we was ripped from our tribal country. When we were a collective society, but then we went to Atlantic slave trade when we came over here, and we were put to work, and we were low mean wages, to the point where we had, the Reconstruction era, Civil War, buck breaking, our women raped or so like that. We weren't talking about this stuff. We weren't on anybody's couch. We weren't having these type of discussions. We were just being dumped on and dumped on and dumped on. And then all of a sudden, too, we moved into the Jim Crow, Civil Rights era, seeing some of our leaders, some of the people that we believed in, and no couches, no one to talk to. We had the pastor, we had the preachers, but guess what? They had problems, too. They had issues that it didn't resonate where they were trying to figure out. And it wasn't just like we can cast away and put a demon on it. No, he's dealing with some level of depression because of the atrocities he's seeing of his people being murdered. And so it wasn't until we came into somewhat of this day and age where we're finally starting to say, hey, look, let's have these discussions. Let's talk about these issues. Why? Because we are suffering. And the numbers, they dictated. The crack epidemic, the crime bill, of all of the things that have happened to us within maybe 400 to 500 years. And it's just, that's what being Black looks like. It's that we have to do to twice or 3 times as much to just get a third of what we can get out of it. And it's unfortunate when we are heralded for our athletic feats and our entertainment or so like that. But the core of who we are, the essence, is ignored. And that's so unfortunate. And when I look at that, when I look at different clients, and I look at my brothers who come and they have these conversations, and we see a lot of how there is infighting within our own culture. When you look at the Times, article that just hit on October the 5th, and when they say that 59% of African Americans are single.
Wow.
Around 62% of African American women are single. And then the next leading category is African American males. But we look at our Caucasian counterparts. We look at our Asian counterparts. We look at they're not having those type of situations or having those type of statistics in those ranges or in those ways. And so I'm saying that's what being Black in America looks like. And it's unfortunate, and it's a lot to do.
Okay, you just blew my mind because I haven't had a time to pick up that article and read it. For those who are in the back row of the church, in the balcony where the speaker is busted and didn't hear you, what were those statistics again?
Well, we said 62% of all females, African American females, that is, are single. You know, in our culture,
62%,
62%, and then followed by their brothers, well, which is us.
Right.
We are the next sector along with that. So 59% of our culture are single. So that means that the collectivistic society that we grew up in, that is in our DNA, is more of an individualistic nature, because now we're all going for ourselves. So what does that mean? That means with a lot of the referendums, that means that a lot of the legislation, that means a lot of the stuff that we need to get done, street corners, them putting all these, man, cracking the jack, man, unhealthy fast food places in our areas or so like that. That doesn't get dealt with. Why?
Yeah.
It's strategic because we don't have the numbers or the group coupling to say, oh, hell no, we ain't doing that. And it's unfortunate.
Right.
It's very unfortunate that we are in this place. And it's by design. Sometimes I go and I sit back and I look at, man, when it talks about slavery, I'm like, they did a good job. They did a good job. And I know people say, well, how could you say that? No, because they had a plan and they executed and they got us to be against one another. And it worked.
And that's where we have to come back and realize we can't fight each other. No. We can agree to disagree, but we don't have to fight each other and pull each other down, but support each other. And what I think we see always, and I use this as an example all the time, in the Jewish community, that dollar will circulate, what they say is an average of 20 times in their community before it leaves out theirs. Ours won't even make it one time around. And we wonder why we're struggling, and when we think about things like Black Tulsa back in the day, how do we capture that and support our communities again, so that our dollars were supporting our communities, supporting each other, like you support me, bro, and I support you, and we make sure that we're blowing each other's platforms up and those type of things, because you're powerful, man, and how do we continue to love on each other and not says, man, it's been strategic since 1619. Come on, Jerron, talk to us. Talk to us. Yeah,
it's one of those things where you got to understand that it's bigger than just you and me.
It is.
Somebody asked me on a platform the other day, it's like, James, you're a therapist and you see on all these podcasts popping up or so like that. And I'm like, we need them, because how is the information going to get to the people unless, man, something? So whatever went in therapy, what they teach us, Marty, meet the client where they're at.
Right where they're at.
If my client is listening to a podcast or a YouTube live stream, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and use my gifts. I'm going to take some of that extra insurance money that I'm being reimbursed, and I'm going to go and put something out there so that I can do this.
That's
because
good.
Guess what? I can only do so much by seeing one-on-one or a group. But what if I have that weekly following that is getting that information and being encouraged to seek therapeutic services for their own healing, so that it can be better for their own families, so that it can be better for their own communities, and man, so that they can do more, and then they can go and set the standard. Guess what? I have a lot of Caucasian counterpart children that come see me. They see me at young ages, because it's been taught to them that, hey, if there's an issue mentally that is going on, then let's go do something about it. Now, granted, now sometimes we have that same mentality as well too, but who do we talk to about it?
Exactly.
A lot of times we don't talk to anyone.
Anyone.
Because one, we don't trust anybody. We don't recognize the seriousness of when you are suffering depression or anxiety, what that does to your overall biochemistry or anything like that. How stress,
come on and talk to us.
Cortisol is pumped into your bloodstream or so like that, and when pretty much, you are being dissolving over a long period of time, sector, and sequences. So now when we're seeing all this kind of stuff, it's like we got to do better. We have the information. We've been educated and informed. Now it's time to execute. But if I'm not willing to do such, then that not only affects me, that affects my community.
That's good.
That's where we have to get to the point.
Love that, man. I'm glad you even said that, how our counterparts bring their children in at an early
Yeah,
age with that. So you this is a great segue to bring in our next guest, who
yeah.
is, I think, is a phenomenon in that he is a black male educator, and specifically a black man who's teaching kindergarten. So welcome all the way from Dallas, Texas, none other, coming up with his own show, talking about Mr. Kenny's Corner, none other than Kenneth Sheppard. Ken, what's up, baby? How you feeling?
Good. How you guys doing?
Doing all right, man. How's everything going?
Everything's going pretty good. Work is going well. Just glad to be on the show again. To just I guess speak on subjects of this matter. In the school
Yeah,
system, just kind of see things are completely, I guess, just in a different way. Just even listening to what he was saying, I see these
yeah.
kids, 5, 6 years old, being
Mm-hmm.
diagnosed with depression and things of that matter. But it's kind of, in my opinion, and I'm not an expert on that, but you're 5, 6 years old, you're a child. Why are we running these tests on these kids and then prescribing them medication? And then
Mm-hmm.
we wonder. And honestly, it's mostly black kids. Since I have been in the
Mm-hmm.
education system, it is,
Mm-hmm.
I would say, 90% of the children are African American, which is,
Mm-hmm.
kind of sad because that stigma follows them, as they get older, junior high, high school, that just follows
Mm-hmm.
them. And it's just not a good thing, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. But you heard what James was saying, Kenneth, about
Hmm.
oftentimes when our children, he has these white kids, because I have them too. I have some white kids, and James, they love us, they trust us. The
Do.
parents do. And I have some Hispanic ones, but then I have the reluctancy or even the lack of consistency of bringing our black
Mm,
children. James, it's almost like I have to call the parents and beg them, please bring them back. Please, we're making progress. Please
right,
don't give
right,
up on them.
right.
And you were sharing today, even sometimes your frustration being a black male in a predominantly, you're in a Hispanic school
Hispanic.
district with
Hmm.
all these women.
Hmm.
Talk to us about some of your own struggles that you go through, and even the mental battle it is for yourself to encourage yourself. Like, I got this. I'm going to do it. I'm making a difference that even you go through on a daily basis as you're teaching these children.
It's difficult sometimes, even when I started teaching, and I haven't been teaching
Hmm.
long, but I just never in a million years thought that I would actually experience some of the things that I have. The school that I'm
Hmm.
at is, I would say, 95% Hispanic. Um,
Wow.
it's a pretty big school. It goes up to fifth grade, but I guess the way that it's divided, we really never see the other students in the upper grades, and that goes for the
Hmm.
teachers as well. So we've been in school 12 weeks now, and I still see teachers who we may have come across each other on Zoom, but as far as face to face, it doesn't happen very often. So, passing by in the hallway, they know who I am. They don't know what grade I teach. And when I tell them I teach kindergarten, oh, why do you teach kindergarten? Why aren't you a coach? Or I thought would teach high school. And we've had that conversation a
Wait,
lot.
I thought you're not the coach.
Yeah,
You're not the
yeah.
basketball coach. You're not the
I'm not the
football
coach.
coach.
I'm what 6'1", 210 pounds, and I'm a kindergarten teacher. And it's just kind of like they look at me funny. And I think I may have shared with you, I was in Lakeshore Learning, a
Right,
store,
right.
teachers, and in line buying supplies, and it was a Caucasian lady behind me. We were just talking. So she was telling me she taught ninth grade, just kind of exchanging stories. And I told her I taught kindergarten, and she was just blown away. Same exact thing she said. She thought that I was the coach, or, why am I not teaching high school or something like that? And honestly, in my opinion, we have four kindergarten teachers at my school. The other three are Hispanic females. They teach. It's bilingual. I'm the only gen ed teacher, but
Mm.
as far as even their students respond to me better than they respond to their own teachers. And I think we talked earlier. I was having today
Mm-hmm.
was a rough day. I kind of was feeling like I'm not making a difference, not doing this, not doing that. But bright and early this morning, I get to work, and one of my students' mom texted me, and her daughter was coming through the door, brought me breakfast. Just saying that she wanted to just give me something for being just such a wonderful teacher, and I guess influence. And this is a Hispanic lady, and I know. Her daughter and I have a really good relationship, but I never in a million years thought these kids go home, talk to their parents
Mm-hmm.
about me, the way that they do. This afternoon, a young man in my class, we're covering professions and jobs in sociology, and just going down the line, different jobs and different this, and
Right, right.
all the other kids are naming a plethora of things that they want to be when they get older. And he tells me he wants to be a teacher just like, and these are his exact words, just like Mr. Sheppard. And he said, I want to dress just like you, Mr. Sheppard. And if I had, I could have just threw a book at him or something. I felt like it was completely overwhelming. I never in a million years thought that these kids actually just felt that way about me. you know uh Sometimes in class, when I talk to them, I discipline them. I do not yell at them because I feel like my voice is kind of rough enough.
Right.
They just respond much better to me. They, like I said, even the other kids in other classes, but even just being at this school, the kids, perfectly fine with, but I'm just having a difficult time just with some of the adults. And like I said,
Mm.
it's two
Wow.
black teachers at the school, and the other only teacher at the school is a black male, and he's a coach. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just difficult sometimes, the language barrier. When things happen, they just kind of begin to speak in Spanish amongst each other. And honestly, I've gotten to the point when that happens, I just turn around and I just walk off. Not that I think that you're talking about me, but I just feel like it's when it's convenient for you to do that, you do it. You speak
But
English when you want to speak
right.
English.
But James, look at that. All the powerful things that Kenneth has displayed. One, the power of his presence alone changes everything.
Uh-huh.
And what if we had right? You're just going, yeah, we know that. We've always known that. The
Always known
power
that.
of a
We've
what's up?
always known that.
Yeah,
We've
we've
always
always
we've
known that.
always known that. Right. Exactly. I
Right,
mean,
right, right.
I mean, listen. I mean, again, Marty, you lived it. I mean, the crack epidemic. I mean, with 3 strikes or so
Yeah.
like that, when we had a lot of males that were incarcerated or so
Yep.
like that, and what that did to a generation or so like that. I mean,
Yes.
it was amazing because now the fathers were out of the house, and so there
Yep.
was no guidance, well, not a lot of guidance from the male
Yeah.
counterparts to their offspring. And so, who
Right.
taught them how to be men? Who taught them how to address, how to
Yes.
look a person in the eye, how
Yes.
to handle your business, how to work hard, how to grind, as opposed to just picking up a couple of rocks, and flipping it for a pat. Who taught them this kind of
Right.
stuff? There wasn't
Right.
anybody available to do such. So my point is
Right.
that we know the importance of men, in the household, in our society, guiding, teaching, directing, or so like that. And no, I'm not trying to shoot any of the feminists or anything like that, because
By
I
no
know that
means. By no means.
there's a place for all of it. But I'm saying though,
Yes.
there's
Yes.
nothing like a man when he is in his place.
And imagine this: if now they for and I was sharing with Kenneth, and he and I have this conversation all the time that in a lot of ways he's the only example in some cases of a black man that is showing kindness, concern, and love towards them. That's genuine for
Right.
the helping make them better. So you see the response when this young black boy says, I want to be just like Mr. Sheppard. And
Yeah.
what even at that age, at 4, 5, and 6, what
Right.
a powerful what he's doing is changing the neuroplasticity of his brain waves now, so that
Exactly.
he's now thinking that way, and that's what's up, and it absolutely is amazing with that. But even look at that, how can we talk about how even the teachers in the place you're working at are asking, well, why aren't you the coach? Well, even the misconceptions and perceptions about our role, right? James, you're laughing. Talk to me, bro.
I mean, it's unfortunate though, but the fact is he's a trailblazer or so like that, and he's setting the standard.
Right.
And hopefully,
Right.
there are other individuals that will come behind him or so like that and follow
That's it.
suit, and they won't be worried about as far as the pay or so like that. Look, I'm here on mission. I'm strategically placed in this position to do what I'm supposed to do, and that's what we need. We need individuals who are not. I mean, Marty, we are male therapists in a female dominated industry. And so we need individuals that are willing to talk that talk with our young brothers or so like that, and our older sisters and our younger sisters. So because a lot of them are coming to us as well too, because they want that part that maybe that they didn't have a father figure in it, and they feel like they are lacking or they're needing it. We call that unmet needs at times. So
exactly,
he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, and he's effective in it, or so like that. They had the saying that dogs don't bark at parked cars, and so by him doing what he's doing, so like that, he's the problem.
That's good, James. That's why I love you, man. You coming on the show talking. Dogs don't bark at parked cars. Goodbye. You're constantly moving, Mr. Sheppard. You're constantly moving, Mr. Bush, and what we're making an impact. Now, imagine this combination. You send your child to school. He has a black male teacher, and then he goes to counseling at school, and he has a black male therapist. Can you imagine? Just in 1 year's change, the impact we now have on our black boys. Can you just even imagine that? I don't know if you guys saw that video that's been going viral with the fighting. Was it in a Louisiana school?
Yes.
You seen that one?
Yes.
Can we talk about that video a little bit, Daryl? I don't know why I should have clued it up and had you show it, but it talks about all this fighting, and then these dads, black dads, got together and said, "Yeah, we're not having it in our schools," and they showed up, and look what happened. James, talk to us about your interpretation of that, what you saw, and then I'm going to have Kenny, you talk about it too as well.
I mean, it's the power of us coming together. There's not his agenda, it's not other. It's like, look, we need to do something about this. There's a problem.
Yes.
And it's not about my ideology, or it's a problem. And we're about to handle it, we're about to fix it, we're about to execute it. And so I think that's so powerful, because it shows that what we can do when we decide that we've had enough about it. And that should be a springboard into other items and other things that we can get accomplished in our society or so like that. And so I hope that that's something that it doesn't get buried under just, the usual rhetoric or that, well, it's a feel-good story. Nah, this is something that we need to continue on when we come together.
But I love it too. It gave men permission and power to come into their own kids' school system and demand that they are educated, number one, and that the other foolishness goes away. And I think what's powerful in that, when they start interviewing the kids, what they were saying said, I felt secure. I felt safe. I felt loved. I felt like someone else was watching over me and protecting me, all because dads showed up to school.
But we've always had that power. We've always had that power, though.
But we've been denied the power. That's the problem. Yeah, we've had it, but oftentimes we've been denied it.
Or we didn't assert ourselves in the moment when we should have. Because we've been lied to and told that, man, we can't do this. And we've been somewhat conditioned to say that this African-American male doesn't have his weight or his power or influence to do anything about it. Nah, we do. Well, actually, we do.
And I love it. The power of a dad when he simply shows up. It changes everything. When a black male teacher shows up. Kenneth, talk to us about when you saw the video and how it resonated with you.
No, I actually just heard about it. I didn't see the video, and they were actually talking about it at school, and I guess not making jokes about it, but just how most schools now are. You can't just enter into board meetings and into schools and things like that because of COVID. But just even from what I heard, like he said, we've always had that power. And kids, believe it or not, like a lot of times, even in class, I'll have a kid just constantly, doing
Mm-hmm.
something. And I may say, I'm going to call your mother. They don't care. You can call my mom, but the minute I say, I'm going to call your dad, or
Man,
your dad texts me, or I'm speaking to your dad, it's just kind of like they straighten
yeah,
up. And
yeah.
a
They
lot of
do.
kids, they straighten up, you like instantly, and I can be honest with you. I was one of those kids. I was terrible in school. I wasn't fighting. I
Yeah.
wasn't fighting or anything like that. It was just my mouth, and even just being disrespectful to teachers, like
Right,
feel
right.
like they just couldn't say anything to me.
Yeah.
My mom was a teacher, retired after 40 years. And, they
Wow.
would always tell me, you should have known, you should know better, you should this, you should that. And my dad worked a lot and he traveled with work. But the times that they're like, I'm calling your dad, like and they did, and it was life changing, after I guess, me and my dad, you know, had our conversations and stuff like that. And I was on the straight and narrow for
Right.
a while, but you just kind of always go back. But it was just it's not that you love your mom, respect her any less. Your mom, when your dad means business. And I think a problem, a lot of the kids in my class do not have dads at home. That's been
Mm.
established. We know that some of them come back and even say, my dad is in jail, and it's like they don't just come out and say
Mm.
it like that. They're kids, so they'll just kind of,
Right.
whatever happened the night before, whatever has been happening, they'll just kind of say that, and you can put two and two together. But a lot of them do not have fathers in the home. It's just, I don't feel like I try to make up for that, because I honestly just, every day I go there, I am who I am. I can't be anybody other than, Kenneth Sheppard. And at the same time, I just try to, I don't know, just kind of love on them and just let them know that, I am here for you, and I think that even just me being a black man, a lot of times that just goes out of the window, regardless of whatever color, the child is that I'm dealing with. They're kids to me. They all deserve a chance. They all deserve love. And that's really why I'm there. And he was speaking on what he said earlier, as far as like, chasing a dollar. And I think, I left a job making way more
Nice
than what I
money.
make now,
Right, right, right.
making really nice money. And this is just what I've always wanted to do. And so when the
Wow.
opportunity presented itself, I just kind of jumped on it. And I think the wonderful thing about it, the opportunity came, through a program, an initiative here in Dallas, Texas, where the program was only for black males,
Mm.
to teach. And so I think it was maybe about 400 applicants, and they hired like 18 of us, and just kind of pushed us through the program. And now they're on their second cohort, and they only hire black men, and they put you in high risk schools, but that's where we are needed the most. But I guess teach a few years and just kind of move up and move around wherever you want to. But I just kind of feel like I want to be where I'm needed. I don't want to be at a school where it's just kind of easy breezy, easy going. I want to be where they actually need me the most. And I kind of felt bad to go, because I said I want to be at a school where there's more of my people. And then I was like fulfilled in that way, because kids are kids, but at the same time, I just do. I kind of want to, and a little bit more heavily, a predominantly black school,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I've really felt bad about saying that or even feeling that, but I kind of got over that, because I just feel like our little black boys, they need us, like they really, really do need us, especially at 5 and 6 years old.
I agree, and I don't think there's anything wrong. And James, definitely speak to that, because you have a niche that's special, that's for black men. Now we
Yeah.
reach everyone, because and I think sometimes we'll feel made to feel guilty that we want to specialize, or that be one of our strengths in that.
I don't
But
I don't feel guilty. I don't feel
you.
guilty.
Thank you.
I don't feel guilty at all. That's my
Thank
niche.
you.
That's the low hanging fruit. That's what
Right.
I'm here to do. And so I make no apologies about that. I mean, we know about externalizing behaviors. Our externalizing behaviors when a male is not present in the household. So we're talking about the possibility of smoking, kids stealing, skipping school, all different types of malfeasance. So when a male is in the household, what wonderful things can happen when he's in place. And so that thing is, and Marty, you know as well as I do, sometimes when we have our clientele, that we are probably the only male figure that they'll see in their life. So we have handled dual roles, not just a therapist, but somewhat of a pseudo parent in that moment or so. And my point is that I make no apologies for why I do what I do.
Right.
And and Kenneth shouldn't either. Because why? Because we're needed. There is a need in this moment for us to do what we're doing. It's just like a coach. Oh, a kid, he goes out there and he plays and he gives him something to do from peak hours of criminal activity with adolescents. That's great. He's needed in the community to do such. Because guess what? There's a lot of different family members that possibly are working, trying to make ends meet, taking care of the kids, or doing what. And so it's a need. We're a community. We're supposed to be doing what we're doing. And people can get somewhat simple, I call it, about your niches and all this other kind of stuff. And whatever it is, that is you. But I'm in the place where I'm supposed to be. And I don't make no apologies.
I agree. And everyone else can have a specialized niche, but we're not supposed to. That's a double standard. Because if James, I feel you're about ready to go off on us.
Kick rocks.
Linda, right. Linda Hart, how are you, darling? Good to see you. And that's where it's at. And Linda Hart, I appreciate her. She's starting, and we're forming out here in San Bernardino counties and Riverside counties. Definitely doing a movement, and she started as and asked if I could chair it, called the Beautiful Black Man Movement, and it's really to speak to Black men here in these two counties so that we can change the trajectory of the negative stinking thinking that is out there and get them to needed services. Make it more commonplace that we talk about our mental health needs so that we don't have to secretly suffer in silence, and so that we can get the help we need and then pair them up. And then that's when the social worker cap comes on, Kenneth, where we now are now aligning them up with needed services so that they can be great dads, that they can be in, we can lower this statistic about being single and now you can be single by choice, but a lot of times, whatever the reason might be, maybe it's helping with employment, because too many of we as men defined our worth based upon our employment. I know you mess with my money, I'm going to be real depressed.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. I mean, it's a no-brainer because when you look, for anybody, man, that's out there, when you are in an acute situation, you need access and availability to the necessary resources. You ain't got time to be on Psychology Today or on the internet or calling your insurance company trying to find out all the different African-American therapists or whoever's in network with you or what deductible that you have. These things should be already known beforehand. And so by having this understanding and this wisdom in this, and by the first and second, third wave of us going through this process, we can begin to teach them the game and how to get past these situations. So you get to say, because time is of the essence. But the thing is, because it's hard to do it when you don't know. When you know better, you do better. But when you don't know, you suffer. What you don't know ultimately will hurt you. And that's what all I'm trying to say is just us being in place. When you're ready, we're here. We're skilled, we're talented, but man, we know pretty much a lot of the same things that the major therapists do know. And guess what? We don't look like Yoda, we don't look like Freud or Rogers. We are relatable, and that's the most beautiful part about it. I'm not going to sit here and take $100 and some odd dollars of your money and not give you nothing. I'm going to give you something to work with and take home. And when you come back, I'm going to give you something else. That's the game.
Exactly. And we can still have our swag, be fly, do everything else, and relate to them. So many of our my Black male clients who come in and be like, dog, it's just felt good that I can talk and exactly what I'm talking about. We can talk about the game, we can talk about dating, we can talk about greens and fried chicken and cornbread, and just and be able to meet them as we say in the therapeutic world. But I don't think we mean it when it comes to specifically Black men, meeting us right where we're at, meeting the need of the person, meeting the person right where they're at. And that's for some reason when it comes to the Black man thrown out the window. And that's where we are here to make a difference. And I know that's where Kenneth is there to make a difference in the educational field as well. Can you imagine, your teacher talking about, hey, come on, it's time for a dance break, and you playing music I like and not blowing in the wind. And some of these other stuff, you're like, what? The answers, my friend, is blowing in the wind. I'm like, I don't know that song. He might be in there talking about body, yada, 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 yada.
Yes, they pay attention. They pay attention to everything.
They do. Tanya, thank you so much. Good to see you, Tanya. Jasmine, the greatest person, the social media person in the world. Love you, baby. Yes. And happy belated birthday to you. Hopefully your husband gets home soon. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah. And you're right, Kenneth. The kids love it. Now you're meeting them right where they're at. So now they're ready to learn because they know they can trust you now. They know that you can identify.
Yes. I feel like we're just getting to the point where when I actually teach and they are learning, they're actually listening and they're learning. And it has taken, this long for that to happen. And, I've gotten to the point, kindergarten, you do the little brain breaks and, little dance videos. And for every subject, everything that you need, there are videos on YouTube. And I think it's like called Go Noodle. They have these videos, whatever I'm teaching, I find a video on Go Noodle. It's these 3 Black guys singing and dancing, just having a good old time, just everything. And so I get right down there with them and, I'm dancing, I'm doing this. And a lot of times they stop and they look at me like, Mr. Sheppard, like, I didn't know that you could do this, or I didn't know you could do that. Fridays we can wear sneakers and, wear jeans. And so a lot of times I try not to really just go and, with my, with Jordans and all of that. But, sometimes, okay, it's Friday, I would just put on some sneakers. You should see how just their face when I walk in and I have on Jordans and I'm this, and they just, well, my brother this, so I have that, and my dad that, and I'm just kind of like, they're shoes, any and everybody can get shoes. And like even today, the little boy telling me, he 5 years old, he wants to see her son loves Go Noodle. I love it too. That's interesting, but no, they just, like she said, representation is very, very important.
It is.
I have 2 really that come like they're supposed to, but I have 3 little Black boys in my class. That is it. And I had 34 kids in my class, but now I have 23.
Wait a minute, stop right there. James, did you hear that? So what they gave my brother 34 kindergartners by himself, no TA, no parent aid or nothing. That's crazy and unheard of.
Quiet as kept, they would have gave him 50 if they could.
If they could, right.
If they could.
Give it to him. He's the coach. He's the coach. He knows how to handle groups.
He doesn't have to handle them. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, they split them up, but like even within the last week, I've gotten 2 new students. So, and they were like, if we continue to get new students in their general ed, talking about they're just gonna be in your class. And at this point, it's just kind of like I feel like I have a good handle on it. It is what it is. I'm not going to complain because and quiet as kept, the other bilingual kindergarten classes, literally the most they have in their class is like 14, 15 kids. And, they crying every day about how hard it is and how this it is. And it's just kind of like, y'all been here for years and like get it together. But everybody's blaming everything on COVID. COVID is the reason why, they're having such a hard time, and
Well, COVID is the reason we all having hard times. So we got to keep living. We got to keep it. So here's my call to action. I want to call to action to black men that we have to speak up. Why do we do that? We speak up for ourselves. We speak up saying, listen, it's okay that I'm not okay. It's okay to say I need some help. We got to speak out. How do we do that? By just this venue like this, speaking out. So we say, hey, black men, we are here for you. Why? Because we want our black men to live and live the best lives that we deserve it. James, talk to us about a call to action, how you would challenge black men to do differently in this time. What's your go-to for that?
I mean, definitely just challenging you to be better. I mean,
Yes.
moving outside of your just circumference your point of view. So if you don't know, look, if you need to know an attorney, find an attorney. If you need to know, man, an educator, find an educator, man.
Yes.
Write the show. Marty could probably, man, link you to somebody. I could probably, show you someone.
That's right.
Like that. Or we know someone that knows someone that knows someone that can help empower you and stuff like that. That's how we build community. That's how we build networks. It's like a web. And so the fact is that we have to first ask for help, because that's what's going to get us to that next level, to that next place where we're supposed to be. But if we continue to stay in our own silos, and again, as I mentioned earlier, just individualistic, where it's just, I'm just doing me and I'm just going to take care of this. And if it don't affect me like that, how the hell does that work? It doesn't work at all. It ain't been working for all this time, and it ain't going to keep working, man, as we go along. But guess what will? Coach told me one long time ago, if you take your one finger and point at me or so like that, then it's not going to do anything to me. You ball your fist up, man, and hit me in my mouth, that's going to get my attention. And that's what we need. We need, man,
I love it.
People coming together, man, working together of the same mindset or so like that. And,
that's right.
No. It can happen. We don't have to agree on everything, but as long as we have a cause and a purpose in mind, just like those fathers in Louisiana, we can do something.
Yes, we can. And you're right, because they took that fist, their individual fingers, and came together and made a big impact and hit that mug right in the mouth. And what? Those kids saw them.
Yes.
And it made a difference. I love it because even in the video, they see the dads greeting the kids as they're coming in. They're like, hey, you going to have a good day today, right? You going to have a good day today. Brother, have a good day, but pull up them pants. Brother, take off your hat. Be respectful. And the kids were following suit. So when we put all of our resources and put our energy in the same cause, I love that. We can make a fist and knock that sucker out and makes a big impact in life. Love that call. Kenny, a call to action. What can we do different? What can maybe parents or students can do differently so that we can support our young kids?
Well, I was actually going to speak on the teachers and even you guys, therapists, just black in general. And I think we spoke about this, self-care. Just how important that is. And I don't think that I've learned how important it is until I started teaching. I just take a day off. A lot of times we, as black men, think just kind of like going to the barbershop or something like that. Go get your feet done. Go get your nails done. A lot of my dad is 72 years old, and he is faithfully. You couldn't, like, years ago, you wouldn't have caught him getting his feet done. But he's there faithfully now, and he says he actually enjoys just sitting in the chair, just sitting back and just having somebody rub his feet, and take care of his fingernails. Whatever self-care may look like.
Dad is being a king. Take care of me. That's right, baby. Rub him feet. I ain't mad at Dad. Come on, Dad.
I'm not mad either. Just whatever self-care looks like to you.
Right. That's right.
Because honestly, the job will be there. The same issues that you have will be there when you get back. We have to learn to take care of ourselves. And a lot of black men, therapy is self-care. Too many black men do not believe in that, and so I just think that we need to get to that point where it's okay and we're not afraid or we're not ashamed of going to sit down on a sofa. It may not even be a sofa, just going to sit down and talk to someone. But like I said, just whatever self-care looks like to you, just make sure you make that happen.
Love that. That's real good. That's real good. Listen, gentlemen, I cannot thank you both enough for coming on us and talking about this and just letting us have this dialogue about what it means to be living as a black man today and just living as a black person today and just making sure that we are, I love this, taking care of ourselves and making sure we are doing the necessary things so we have access to these services. James, how can our people follow you and get a hold of you so they can start listening? If you have not been listening to his podcast, please do. I've sent some of my black male clients to you to listen to the podcast. But how do we still follow you and become a fan of yours?
You can follow me on IG, Instagram at a Mind of a Man podcast, and you can find us on all popular podcasting platforms as well as YouTube, or you can check us out on my website, or bushcounselingservices.com.
Yes.
That's bushcounselingservices.com.
Yes, love it, man. You tell us one more time all the states that you are licensed in. Some of us are doing renegade stuff, and we just not even trying to do the same stuff. But you're doing it the right way. You're doing it the right way. I'm like, I ain't licensed in that state.
So it's Tennessee, it's Nevada, it's Kentucky, it's New Jersey, and soon to be Wisconsin.
Yes, come on out here to Cali too and get to in Cali. Come on. No, James, man. Again, man, much love to you. Love everything that you're doing. Y'all go check out Bush Counseling. Please reach out to James. Amazing therapist, amazing podcast, just amazing brother who's doing the thing, and he's doing it the right way, y'all. And again, much love, man. Always appreciate you calling me at the last minute. Talk about dog. I can. Yes, hold on. I got you with that. And I called Kenneth at the last minute too. So Kenneth, how can we follow you and start following you as well?
You can follow me on Facebook at Ken Sheppard, and on Instagram. I would have to even look that up. Hold on one second. All right, so Instagram, it is. Instagram is Kenny Boy. That's KENNI underscore boy underscore Kenny Boy. So those are on two platforms I'm on. So, and I think maybe in the near future I will have another.
Yes, you are.
And as that happens, I will relay that information.
And that's not maybe in the near future. Listen, we're going to be excited because we're going to be hosting in January. And James, you got to come back for that one. Talk about Mr. Kenny's Corner. And it's going to be supporting families and talking about the importance of educational service and what parents can do to come alongside Mr. Kenny in his corner and how to make an impact in our children's life, educational life with that as well. And he's going to be doing the 4 corner tips each week, giving us 4 tips on how we can improve the educational services for our children and make a strong impact in their life, especially our Black boys. I'm so excited about this show. Yes.
I like that. I'm definitely into that, man. That's what's up, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, listen, y'all, thank you so much for coming out and joining us. Listen, we want to thank you guys for coming and joining for another episode of Mental Health Matters with Marty, as we talked about living while being Black in America. Listen, we want to remind you of other platforms. We don't want you to leave and not know how to get access or know some of the local resources that are available. So we want to kind of share with you some of the resources that are available that you can start looking for. Of course, if you're experiencing any type of crisis, you can text crises to 741-741. You can type help to 741, and that is a text line where they have clinical people to support you with that. As James mentioned, Psychology Today. Check out James Bush on Psychology Today. I'm on Psychology Today if you need assistance with that. Therapyforblackmen.com. There is a search engine just for Black men, and that connects you with Black male clinicians throughout the country. Good Therapy is another one that you can definitely check out, as well as my own business, marcelconsulting.com. So we want to make sure that you have the necessary resources if you are looking for support with your mental health in that. Okay, our next slide there, Daryl. And as always, we want you to, here we go. Yes, check out our website at mentalhealthmarty.com. untitled-marty.com. And we have some amazing merch on there to support you in your mental health journey, such as Stop the Stinking Thinking Journal. Yes, we want you to pick up our journal. We have that. And I believe also on Black Friday, we're going to be releasing the pre-orders for the book. We also have Black Mental Health Matters, or Black Men Matter. That's the t-shirt. And we also have, because it's getting cold outside, a sweatshirt along with that as well. Please check out our website for that, again, at mentalhealthmarty.com. And also, I have a little podcast called Mental Health Matters with Marty. Please leave us a 5-star rating if you are an Apple listener, and leave us a review, and become an I Matter member of Mental Health Matters with Marty by texting I Matter to 855-717-1272. Again, we want to thank you for joining us in this edition of Mental Health Matters with Marty. As we're moving along, doing some things. Starting in November, we're going to be launching a new series that's called What About Dad? That's celebrating men's health awareness for November. What about dad? So stay tuned for that. In this life, we don't want you to continue to secretly suffer in silence in the shadow of shame. But y'all know how I say it each week. We want you to speak up, speak out, and live so that you can enjoy your life. We'll see you next week. Take care.